All right, Sabu.
Yeah,
Shoot.
man. I know. Yesterday we touched on patience. I think is one for me that really stood out, and yeah, no, definitely we'll come back to parenting as well. But yeah, we just had a, like you said, impromptu conversation on patience yesterday, and how much is it that it's how much of an impact it has actually on the way we also think and live our daily lives.
Yeah, I think
And
it's maybe the right word is the way we function. I think that is the word.
mm,
And when you take the word function, when I speak of a word function, the image that comes to mind is a clock.
mm,
A clock functions in a certain way. So you got the seconds that move a lot more than the minutes.
mm,
That also moves a lot faster than the hour. But all three of them work in such a way that it's synchronized
okay.
to achieve one result, one thing.
Never
Tell
thought
us
of it that
time.
way, but okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
but they tell us time. So they function to tell us what time it is, you know. And the word, patience in itself maybe is the goal. Impatience is the issue
Yes.
because society is inherently impatient
Yes.
by design, by default, or by anything you want to call it.
Mm,
Every child's born to be impatient. Every human being's born impatient.
mm,
Everybody has the impatient DNA.
yes.
And over the years, in an attempt for product and services to to appease the impatience of people, they've created all sorts of products,
Mm,
from fast food to
yes.
all sorts of things, and now to stuffs like TikTok, Instagram, even YouTube and
YouTube
Facebook
shorts.
that used to be more of a longer video.
Yeah.
We see more people posting shorter and shorter video. There's YouTube shorts, like you said.
Yes.
There's that. And it's all of that. It's feeding, if you want to call it, the monster in everybody,
Mm.
which is the monster called
I think I
impatience.
remember where we started with this conversation actually yesterday when we talked about these clips that we see on like
Oh, yeah.
other
Yeah,
podcasts,
that's
other
true.
or like just shows in general.
Yeah,
Like
and how you watch a preview and that almost
yes,
equates the fact that you watch the entire thing,
yeah,
And I think you mentioned the fact that someone watch a movie preview, for example,
yes,
or you watch something like a 2 minutes clip of a movie,
mm,
snippets all over the place. And it almost fills the gap of watching the entire movie
yeah,
for most people in their minds.
mm,
And I think the conversation also when we started talking about it was when I think I mentioned about you'd watch a talk show or a message or something or a seminar that's got 60 minutes of talk in it,
yeah,
but now they're going to extract 10 seconds that's suitable for, or 30 seconds that's suitable for TikTok. And most people want to watch the shorter version than watch the whole thing to actually get the whole juice of what's been talked about. But we want nuggets, we want, like, give me the shortest way to the destination,
mm,
Why do I have to take 50 steps if I can take 5? And I think that why that's because people would say that's because who's got time,
mm,
but who doesn't have time?
yeah,
Because when you think about time, in our attempt to, I don't have time, give me the shorter version of it,
yes,
we end up in holes and mistakes that cost us more time than it
mm,
will have taken us to sit and watch a video for 60 minutes.
yeah, bro.
So people want the shortest version of something rather than them going, let me go the whole thing in so I understand the process, the dynamics of something, so I can function right.
Yeah,
And I think that life is more functional when we understand the value of patience
yes,
in time. If I don't know the value of patience in time,
mm,
the functionality of my life is what you call malfunction, then I don't function effectively because I don't understand the value of patience.
mm,
And a good example is example I've given to a couple of people before. You plant a milli and you plant an avocado. And a milli takes
oh
about 3
yes,
months to grow. That's it. So if you plant a milli next to an avocado, what
mm.
do you get? You see the milli grow faster than the
How long
avocado,
does it ever grow then?
and it looks as like, oh, is that you? Is that all you can do in 2 weeks?
Yeah,
And I'm like, toop, toop. And he goes faster and he grows. And
mm,
when he's got the hair on and then he gets the corn on, And people are attracted to his corn, to his
Yes.
fruitfulness, to his result. But the avocado cannot draw any attention because there's nothing on it. And year 2, you plant millie again, like, oh, you're still here, still growing. And the avo might not grow more than 10 centimeters in the whole in the first year. In the second year, can't grow that much either. And sometimes, so what's the reason for that? The avo fruit weighs, I don't know, I'm not accurate,
It's
but I'm sure
heavier,
a
actually, yeah.
some avo fruit can weigh somewhere in the range of about 200 grams to even almost a kg.
Probably like
Some are really
3
big.
times the size of a corn, for instance.
Some of them are really big, so big they're about the size of a child's head, and they can weigh almost a kilogram
True.
in weight. So if an avo were to have fruit in its first year, it's the fruits that will kill it, because it doesn't have
It's
the
too
branch
heavy.
to hold
Interesting.
those fruit. So the avo can't have fruit in its first year, can't have fruit in the second year, can't have fruit in its third year. It needs to grow to about 2 meters and have proper branches. Proper branches.
That's a long time.
Yes, a long time
Patience.
to produce result
Yes.
that last.
Yes. Yes.
Because the difference between the avo and the millie is that the millie will bring out one corn and his life is over. And the avo might not bear fruit for the next 2 or 3 years or 4 years or even 5 years. But when it starts to fruit, it will fruit continuously for a lifetime.
Okay.
And that's the difference. Is that people understand the dynamics of patience. Is that patience is what brings about lasting result. So we are not patient by nature. We were born impatient. I know. And a funny thing is that if you try to make a child's a baby's milk, like my daughter, she's just over a year old. If you're trying to warm milk for my daughter, and you warm in the milk, she sees it in the microwave,
she wants
she's
it
still
now.
crying. Like, I want it and I want it now.
Now.
Give it to, like, but I'm warming the thing.
Yeah.
Can't you be patient? A 2-year-old goes into the shop and they want lollipop and they want lollipop now. I find it very interesting when I tell my kids,
Instant gratification
yes.
type of.
exactly, instant gratification. You know, there's actually a research that was done, or I don't know if it was a research. It was a research that was done. I read it in the book, that they took a couple of kids and they taught one group of them delayed gratification, and the others, they gave them what they wanted when they wanted it. And it was interesting when they grew old and they were independent.
Oh, yes.
The ones that were denied something in the moment, for them to learn the discipline of time, the discipline of waiting, was very successful, significantly more successful than the ones that were giving what they wanted when they wanted it. The value of waiting. Many people think that waiting is a waste of time, but waiting is what puts a lot of value in your life. Anything you can't wait for is either going to get you in trouble or it's going to give you very little value.
Yes.
Whatever you didn't wait for has very little value to you. Very little. If it has any value, very little, or gets you in trouble. You know, so the idea of waiting is not natural. So where do we learn to wait? I think Rudin asked that question yesterday and said, so are people having issues with patience because they lack discipline? And I said, discipline is not the problem. Vision is the problem.
Okay.
If you have a vision, the ability to wait is acquired.
Okay, yes.
A good example, the guys who run a 100-meter race, understand, that's not a race to wait for. On your mark, get ready, go. It's a 100-meter, you got 10 seconds to do it. Every part of your being goes into full blast.
Yes.
And you run. But if it's a comrade that's 89 kilometers,
Yeah.
and they go on your mark, get ready, go, no one sprints.
Yes.
Why would you sprint? You got a whole day to do this thing. If you go sprinting, you're not going to finish. You're going to fizzle out somewhere along the way. So the long distance runners understand the value of patience because they have learned patience through endurance. I have power to pace I've got power to pace myself. I've got wisdom to pace myself, and I have the wisdom to hold my power back.
Yes.
I can do it. I can sprint, but I won't finish. But if I pace myself, I'll get there. And the importance of that.
And then
in life-
also, just in respect of the sport in general, 100-meter sprinter, also, a lot of patience comes to them building up to that race, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of patience that goes into that. Like that's years of training.
Oh yeah, I mean, look,
just to run that.
A 100-meter runner understands that.
Just for this, with regards to the respect to the sport,
he gets to practice patience in the days of training. But when he gets on that track to run the 100-meter final, he understands the power of pacing himself and running fast. But his patience has built up to that moment. And we're just using that as an example, just so people understand the dynamics of waiting, or patience and impatience, is that if we are not patient, which most people aren't, we aren't patient by nature. No one is patient. I said that yesterday, that if you ever find a naturally patient person, he's just a lazy guy. If a guy is naturally patient, he's very lazy. That's all. Because nobody in this world is patient by nature. No one.
Doesn't sound fair, though.
It does. You might say it doesn't sound fair, but have you ever found a 2-year-old that's patient before?
No.
Have you ever found a 5-year-old that's patient before?
No.
Have you ever seen a 10-year-old that's patient before?
No.
If you can't find them at that age, so when does this naturally patient person evolve?
Okay.
From where did he come?
Okay, I get it.
Because he wasn't patient. Look at me. I'll tell you this one. Is it not interesting? When you were young, you couldn't wait to grow older.
Yes.
When we were 10-year-old and 11-year-old, we couldn't wait to grow beards.
Yes.
You couldn't wait to I can't wait to go to varsity. I can't wait to be free. I can't wait to leave my mother's house. I can't wait to be independent. I can't wait to leave him on my own. I can't wait. It is the nature of man to never want to wait for what we want.
Okay.
It is not in our DNA to wait for what we want, but it is in our best interest to wait for what we really want. In our best interest. And waiting does not mean doing nothing, by the way. People might think that waiting means just folding your hands and just waiting. That's not what waiting is.
Practice.
Patience is not sitting back and doing nothing.
Yeah.
Patience is understanding that what you are trying to achieve is not going to happen overnight.
You're honing your skill.
So the ability to see the vision is going to take 15 years to build this thing. The Alva knows it's going to take me 4 or 5 years for me to get to a place of fruitfulness. So I'm not going to be frustrated in my first year. I'm not going to be insulted by the con sitting next to me saying, is that all you can do in 2 years?
You appreciate the process.
So because you understand where you're going, process becomes your friend.
It's your... Yeah.
Patience is what happens when you can see where you're going,
with its
and then
ups
you
and
embrace the process.
Yeah.
And whatever comes with that process, you take it because you understand it's adding value to you.
Yeah.
Most people get to their destination with very little value in them because they were not patient. And that's what I'm saying. Patience isn't just waiting for something to happen. Patience is going through a process, understanding where I want to get to will require time.
Yes.
You can't fast forward it. I remember the story of a young minister who went to a very established minister and asked him, he saw this audience. And the guy said, okay, it's fine, you can see me. And when he gets into his office, he asked him, he said, can you tell me in a nutshell what it took you to be successful? And this guy chased him out of his office and says to him, you want me to tell you what took me 25 years to achieve in a nutshell? He says, you're not ready for the truth yet. Get out of my office.
In a nugget.
And why that sounds very harsh, it is true. Life does not come in nuggets. Everybody, it's good. Read a book, 16 Ways to be Successful. You can read all about 17 ways to have a successful relationship.
Yeah.
You can read all about all of those wonderful things. It's the same thing as parenting. You can read books on parenting, but that book does not have the blueprint of your children.
True.
No, it doesn't.
True.
So you got a son that's unique. You've got a child that does not see life in the way that person's child saw life.
Yes.
So someone's written a book on how to build a business. His business isn't your business. And even if it was the same kind of business, you guys aren't the same
different
people.
Challenges.
You guys are different individuals. So if you understand the power of patience that is born out of a vision. So if I'm going to learn to be patient, and because patience is the true sign of maturity, you cannot say you're mature except you're patient. Most people get in trouble in life because they lack patience. Because of impatience, people get into terrible relationships.
True.
Because people are impatient, they get into financial problems.
Yes.
For example, people get out of school. He wants to drive a GTI at 25. Brother, take it easy. You're going to drive a GT10 if you're patient.
And Apple has made it worse, actually, because I think they've got this new buy now, pay later type
Oh
of
no, but
thing.
that's not new. That's an old trick.
It's an old
That's
thing,
an
but
old trick
you
that
know,
has fed
people
on
are
the
going to be
impatience of
buying
people.
those iPhones. now.
Buy in December and only start paying in June.
Yeah.
That is how society, not society, that's how industries and businesses have capitalized on the impatience of people. In fact, many businesses have made fortunes because
Higher
we are
purchase.
impatient.
Actually, yeah, no, I grew up with parents buying furniture on credit, but they used to call it higher purchase.
Yeah, that's why it is called higher purchase, because you end up paying more
You pay
for
double.
it than if you had saved for it.
Yeah.
You know, the practice of even saving is a practice of patience.
Yes.
That's a training to be patient. When you learn how to save, I know it's not easy, but saving is learning how to use time to add value to you, and that value is called patience. Because you're going to save yourself a lot of hassle. Because look at South Africa. South Africa is a very, very what do you call it? Our economy looks good, but is built on people who are slaving away to pay bills.
Yes.
I mean, and unfortunately, I mean, that's the Western world. America is the same story. The UK is the same story. I mean, Europe is the same like that. Most of the Western world is designed that way. Credit builds the economy. And the reason why credit thrives is because people are not patient. If I am patient, then I will say, you know what? I can take a bus to work for the next 3 years. Save up to buy a car that I can afford.
Yeah.
But credit says, you don't need to afford it. We can give it to you, and you just have to slave away for the next 6 years to pay us back. And my impatience says, well, that's fair for me. I get what I want now,
Yes.
and I get to pay times 3 for it later.
Yes. And banks don't ask how much debt you have. That's how the housing market crash happened
Yes,
in 2008.
because
Banks were giving bond after bond after bond to
and they were securing your bond.
Those
They were insuring
debts.
they were insuring your bond on the
Yeah.
grounds that should you fail to pay, they had an insurance on that.
Imagine.
Because they knew you were going to fail to pay them. So impatience is such, if you look in society, it's everywhere. If you look, even on the road rage.
Yes.
Road rage is predominantly born out of impatience.
Oof.
Oftentimes it is that. A guy wants you to get off the road and he's hooting at you,
Yeah.
get off. Why? Right, and I find that very interesting when people speed by you and they go at 180 kilometers past you, poo, and then you find them at the robot.
Yeah, no.
The robot is like the universal
Yeah, I know.
equalizer.
Yes,
it's
yes,
a
yes.
very, very perfect tool to teach
Yeah.
people patience.
Patience, yeah.
You know, because that's what the robot does.
True.
You go flying past this guy, and this guy's like, you're in a hurry where? And then the guy who's
Hello.
driving at 60 kilometers an hour
Like,
comes
hi.
by, and then he comes and drives right next to you.
Still here.
And then your car is busy going, I can't wait for this thing to go green. Go green already so I can go. And I remember one time I was in Johannesburg, when I still used to live in Johannesburg, I was going for an event. And I was late, and the GPS chose to take me through town instead of the highway, which is very typical of the GPS.
Town, eh?
Oh, I hated that. I would never forget that day because I'm banging on the steering wheel because I'm on this road that's got a robot at every 200 kilometers, every
Yes,
200
of
meters
course,
or 100
of
meters.
course.
And for some reason, life and God had chosen to teach me patience that day. Because every time I approach the robot, it turns red. And then I leave that one when it turns green, and I'm speeding to the next one to catch
Red.
it before it goes, red. And then next one, and red, and I'm furious. But you know what I realized? The guys I keep leaving behind keep finding me where I
Yeah,
stop.
boy.
And you realize that most people are doing that. Hurry up and wait. Have you ever heard that statement before? Those are people who realize no matter how much you hurry, you're going to wait eventually.
Yeah, boy.
So hurry up and wait.
Hurry up and wait.
Yes, hurry up and wait, because that means I'm impatient. But guess what?
Yeah.
Life does not follow your timeline. Life does not follow your schedule. Life does not follow your diary. Life does not follow your plans. I want to be a millionaire when I'm 30. You see, all this concept of become a millionaire at 30, be a billionaire at 40, retire at 25, you know, all those sort of goals that people have are oftentimes built out of impatience rather than on the vision.
True.
What's your hurry? I was talking to my wife yesterday. I said, what's your hurry in being a millionaire at 30? Please explain to me. So you're going to live for 75 years, and you've turned out to become a multimillionaire at 30, what are you going to do with the rest of your 45 years? Enjoy it? That's a dead, boring life, I can tell you that.
Oh, you're going to travel the world then?
No, you see, all that concept that people create is often lapped up by those of us who haven't done it. You see, it's easy to sell something to you and say it's tasty if you don't know what it tastes like. You see, it's the same picture that's painted for government officials. Those who work for government. I'm not talking about politicians, I'm talking about people, those who work for government. They are told this idea of retirement. It's painted lovely, it's varnished, it's polished, it's packaged so beautifully that everyone aspires to retire. Guess what? When they retire,
1 year, that
they
money
are
is
smacked. 1 year is a long time. After about 2 weeks, you enjoy the first 2 weeks. It's nice to just wake up and do nothing.
and buy a BMW.
Wake up in the morning and drink coffee or do whatever. Guess what? In about a month or two, something happens to you. It's called boredom. And boredom comes with a weight.
Yeah.
Boredom is like what do you call that? Boredom is like a dumbbell that's 50 kg given to a 12-year-old to lift. It will kill you. Slowly, for that matter. So the people, I can't wait to retire. Retirement isn't fun. Some say, well, what do you know about retirement? I've seen enough people retire and they're miserable. And I know. So people spend their lives almost in a hurry to get to some place, and when they get there, they realize it's not what I thought it was.
Sure.
So someone who wants to be a millionaire at 30 and says, I'm just going to travel the world. There's 180 or so countries in the world. Surely you're going to run out of countries to go to very soon.
One country that money is gone.
Look, so the thing is that life is built to be enjoyed based on challenges. So except someone says to me, I'm going to become a multimillionaire at 30 and I'm going to find a new challenge to tackle.
True.
But if I'm going to retire at 30, those who retired at 55 didn't make it. You're going to retire at 30.
Do you really retire though when you're doing something that you love?
Look, that's another question of people talking about if you're doing what you love, you never really retire. I spoke to someone about that. I don't know if it was you. I was speaking to someone. I said, retirement is for people who hate their jobs.
I think so too.
So seriously, you can only retire because you hate what you do, because you can't wait to stop doing it.
Yes.
There are people who are teachers. They hate teaching. That's just what they had to do to get a job. So they can't wait to retire.
Yeah.
True teachers don't. I've seen people retire from their teaching profession and then go back to be volunteers.
Yes.
Not because they get paid for it, but because they genuinely enjoy doing it.
Or they are bored of the retirement.
Of course, that's the other one that we're talking about, isn't it? Because you see them retire and go, I'm going to enjoy my money. Really? You're going to enjoy your money by waking up in the morning and doing nothing and what am I going to do today? I'm going to drink coffee, take care of my garden, get out, go and see a couple of my friends. And they also have to go and get out and see a couple of people, then attend a couple of funerals. I mean, what is the exciting thing about that aspect of life? And I think that we really don't have to speak to the older people. We got to speak to the younger ones that are rushing to retirement. There is nothing there for you. Look, seriously, there's a lot of young people today working for government, working in companies. He's 35, but he's already dreaming of retirement. There is nothing there, brother.
Do people really think retirement while they're working, like still young?
No, let's try something.
I've never had that thought when I was in corporate.
Let me tell you something. If you write a book, How to Retire at 35, you have no idea how many people will buy that book just based on the title.
Okay,
because that title feeds the inherent impatience in people.
True.
Straight. Why do people like fast food? Because it's fast. Period.
Yes.
It's not because it's the tastiest food ever. There's a whole lot of meals you can cook that also taste amazing. But it takes time to cook it.
Yes.
So I will opt for a fast food because it's a way to gratify what I want, when I want it. And there's always the issue of what you want and when you can get it. And we must always be careful of what we want. That can always come to us when we want it. Must always be very careful of those kind of stuff. I want it and I can get it.
It's too quick.
If you want something that's really profound, check if it's going to take time to come. If you place an order online, does it come immediately?
Nope.
No, it doesn't. And what can you do about that?
You wait.
Wait. Exactly. There's a lot of things in life designed to teach us to wait. You know, there's a lot of things in life that is designed to teach us to wait. Many things. You know, it's funny how people wait for their salaries 30 days because they have no choice.
Yeah.
So most people are waiting, but they're not learning patience. And there's a huge difference between waiting because I have no choice and waiting because I understand process. If I'm waiting because, well, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm just waiting. I'm tapping my feet. Waiting. You know, you're there at the shop in the queue and you're like, can you guys hurry up already? You have no choice than to wait.
Yes.
But you are not learning patience while you're waiting.
Yes. And
So
plus,
you
you know that that salary is coming was at that particular 25 or 30 years.
Yes.
Whereas if you, let's say you work for yourself, that patience you have to sort of learn from not getting a salary for like months on and
I
but
think
still
that-
enjoying your process. I
I
don't
think
know.
that to
how
be fair to everyone, the people who what do you call that now? The people who work and earn a salary and those who do business, I don't think there's an advantage in this subject because there are people who do business that still have absolute killing impatience in them.
That true.
And there are people who earn a salary who understand the dynamics
Yes.
of waiting to learn patience rather than waiting because I have no choice.
True.
So there's a lot of people who wait because, well, that's all they got. They have no option. If they
Yes.
had an option, they would not wait. That's not what we're talking about. Patience is not just waiting because you have no option. Patience is waiting because you see the end result and you understand this is the process that I have to go through to get there.
Makes sense.
So the Avo can't fast forward his ability to fruit. If he could, some of them would have. If they had it in their ability. That's the difference between human beings and plants. We got it coming called a wheel.
Mango as well.
Yeah, mango, all of this fruit, apples and stuff like that. They can't make themselves fruit earlier. They can't. But human beings can.
Yes.
Even though that fruiting might not be fruitful, but we can as human beings. If I'm frustrated about being single, I can just get into a relationship like ASAP.
Yes.
That's the difference between human beings and plants. Plants
True.
can't fast forward their process. They have to go
Yes,
through the process.
actually, yeah,
We
true.
can jump process. We call it shortcut. We just short circuit this thing. This is too long.
course.
I'm gonna make it faster. And the value of waiting, it's where you learn the quality. What do you call that? I'm looking for the right word for it. It's when you learn you acquire the skill, the tool, the skill to enjoy what you are chasing. It's in the process that you acquire what it takes to enjoy that product when you get it. So I'll give you, let's go back to this issue of people retiring at 30 as millionaires. If he's pacing there, just running through the system just to get there, there's a lot of them in this country, in all over the world. Guys who want to get tenders just so they can have money. They have no business about adding value to society.
Yes.
They're not trying to better companies. They're not trying to better society in any way. He's just trying to make money for himself. So he's going to pace through life and make that million. And that's why you find that some people, when they become rich, in the sense of rich, for lack of word, they are rich. They've got money.
Yeah.
They've got
They've
loose money. They've got means. They now need to find something to buy with the money. So what they're trying to do? They're trying to buy the gratification that they have missed in getting there with the money they've acquired.
Oh, okay.
So guess what people do? They buy cars and they post it on social media.
Yes.
Everybody says something about the car he bought
Okay.
because he's looking for some sort of satisfaction. So the car isn't enough to satisfy him. He needs to find greater satisfaction by posting it out there and say, how many people really dig the vehicle I bought?
True.
Serious. That's the fact.
Yeah.
The reason why someone goes to a fancy restaurant and decides to take the picture of the food so they can put it on the social media platform, food is for eating, it's not for pictures. When I get served food, I don't think about my phone.
Nope.
I dig into the thing, I eat it.
Yep.
But some people go and they go, oh,
Yeah.
we are at what restaurant? Because it's a fancy restaurant. You know, yesterday I was coming home and I thought about something. Because when I was coming home yesterday,
By the way, they're not posting when they're boiling an egg.
oh, I'm going there, don't
on
worry.
a normal day.
No, absolutely not. I was coming home yesterday from the office and I had, ShopRite bags in my hand.
Yeah.
I had ShopRite bags. And as I walked with the ShopRite bags, I'm thinking to myself, this is considered one of the cheaper grocery stores in South Africa.
Yes.
And I thought about people who wear Gucci and wear Gucci bags and Chanel bags, and they like to wear, put on, carry bags. I'm like, imagine wearing the cheapest brand and wearing it proudly. Like, why don't we have that culture of people who wear affordable stuff and they're proud of it? Rather than people who wear fancy stuff that most of them we know they can't even afford it, but anyways, it's a reputation.
I always say that Mr. Price is my favorite shop.
Yeah, but look, while it's your favorite shop, what I'm saying is, when are we going to create a culture that's proud of waiting, of being patient? Because the problem is, a lot of the, and I'm not picking on on shows or television shows or whatever, but there's a lot of shows that show you this high life, this posh life. And what it does is it just feeds people's eagerness to get there as quick as possible.
Yeah.
Why don't you guys show us the shows or televised shows that shows us process?
Yeah, boo.
I don't want to see a guy scoring a goal on Saturday. Show me when he was training between Monday and Friday. Why can't we have shows on that? And when we have shows that are supposed to be reality TV shows, they are still scripted. And then they are looking for drama. And I noticed that in reality TV shows, the more drama you can bring to the camera,
Of course.
the more likely you'll be featuring in season 2.
Yeah, it's planned.
The less drama you bring, you probably get cut off the thing. And it's because even shows, the owners of the shows, the directors of the shows, they want their shows to trend. You don't make a show so it can trend. Either it's got value or not. And I think about that in terms of music. Does a musician make a song so he can get a hit song? Or does he make a song because he believes in what he's doing? Because if he does it for what he believes in, it will not matter if that song is a hit all over the world or it's not. If he loves his product, if he loves his music, and he believes in what he's put out there. And there's a lot of people like that. By the way, you think about guys like Bob Marley. Bob Marley didn't write songs so that they could be global hits.
Nope.
He wrote songs based on what he felt in his heart,
Yeah.
what he believed in. Emancipate yourself, our people. Those are not songs written so you and I can jam to it.
True.
And while he wrote about we jamming, and we were jamming most times,
Fela
there was a
Kuti.
whole lot of other songs he wrote. They were not jamming songs. They were songs to set his people free.
True.
And he didn't write them so you and I can dance to them. He wrote them so that you and I can be inspired by it and be liberated by it. Fela did not write songs so we and I can get to the dance floor and we can show who could dance better. No. They wrote songs because they believed in it. They didn't write songs so that they can trend. Nowadays, because of social
Teacher, don't
media,
teach me nonsense.
yes, because of social media today, people are creating content in the hopes of it going viral.
Yes.
Instead of people creating content, because there is actually a content in that container. There is a lot of packaging with absolute air in
The
it.
containers
Nicks.
empty these days.
The containers are empty, even though they are called content. The people who created or coined the word content had something in mind. They're saying content because there's something in it. Nowadays, it's called content because there's something
Contain.
on the outside. It looks like it. And I
Yeah,
notice
true.
nowadays people have got all this lot of, what do you call that? The cover of a video.
Packaging.
So people are more focused on the packaging
Yeah.
than they are the product itself. And you know why? It's because the product takes time.
Yes.
The package doesn't. You can download a package.
And it takes a lot more work.
Oh no.
The
You see,
content takes
the
work.
content, if you're going to put something of value out, value takes time.
Yeah, bro.
Anything takes time to appreciate value.
Yes.
Show me something that appreciates in value overnight. There is none. And if you find one, it's a mushroom. It goes down as fast as it came up.
True.
In my garden here, I have, what do you call them? Mushrooms popping out here.
Okay.
And it's funny, one evening, it's not there. In the morning, there's this tall tower,
Okay.
white stuff. pops out overnight. It's amazing. But guess what? Leave that guy there. On day 2,
Gone.
he comes like an umbrella.
Okay.
Day 3, you wake up in the morning and he's dead. Black.
Interesting.
Shrunk. From being juicy and flabby and all of that, it just shrinks into absolute nothing. And it's gone. So most people have got content that's just mushroom. It comes up today and tomorrow it's gone.
One hit wonder must.
Even one hit wonder is nowadays we don't even get one hit
Yeah,
wonder.
actually we don't.
Once upon a time, one hit
Yeah,
wonder was the
they
way
were-
we say people didn't have substance.
Yeah.
Nowadays, even if you could get one hit wonder, you will
Yeah.
still be considered as something.
Yeah, no.
Nowadays, people
definitely.
have got absolute nothing out there. And what is shocking the most in society is what trends are often things. See, let me tell you something. What trends in a society or in the world is a function of how deep and mature people are
Yeah,
or
boy.
how immature they are. So when stuff that do not have value trend, it speaks to how shallow society is. So you should be afraid when your
Consume.
video is trending because it is a testament to the foolishness and
but
yeah, but it
But I
is
mean,
in
if
most
you
cases.
if your video or your song is trending, you don't really care about
Yes, you don't
yeah,
care
how you trending.
You don't care if
Yeah,
you would not care
if you
your
got
goal,
content.
If your goal is to get that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But let me give you a good example. If a guy sings a happy song,
No, but I hear what you.
yeah,
I
if
hear
a guy
what you're
sings a
saying.
happy song, okay? Oh no, let me take a reverse of that. If a guy sings a very deeply emotional song, like a song of freedom, like the song of freedom, that imagine someone sang a song like that, song of liberation, someone of struggle of a nation,
Yeah.
and then he finds people in the club digging down to it and dancing dig down there. And do you know how heartbreaking that would be to him? Like, I didn't write a song so you could jive.
Yeah.
I wrote a song so you can break free from the jail.
Yes. No. True. True.
So if the intention of a content is to go viral, you don't care
By
what it
all
is
means,
as long
yeah.
as it goes viral.
Yeah.
But if the intention of a content is to communicate value, then value becomes what you're looking out for. And I think that the reason why we don't get a lot of value on social media platform, one is because everybody just wants to be popular.
Yes.
Which is a very weird thing, but a lot of people want to be popular. For reasons, two reasons why people want to be popular. One, they just want to be popular. It's nice when you go around, people wave hands, wave and you, hey, Sabu, ah. People like that weird stuff. They can ask all the musicians and actors. It is not nice to be popular. Your life gets taken from you. But anyways, anybody wants whatever they want.
Yeah.
Number two is that people understand nowadays that popularity equal big giant purse.
Yes.
If you're popular, you make money. So people do this thing so that if I go viral and people start following me and people start watching my videos and stuff like that, then boom, voila, I'm here. And what that has done is that it has eroded the need for us to be patient in society. So we have young people who don't care about what they're putting out. They just trying to get on the world stage.
Yes.
I'm just trying to be popular. I'm just trying to go viral. I'm just trying to, because the years they were supposed to spend to add value to themselves so that one day they can be contributors to society, they spend those years trying to be popular. And I think that value takes time, and a lot of people don't have the time to build value. But I've realized that if you don't have time to build value, not only would you have no value in society, but you soon realize that what you're chasing has absolutely no reward. And when I mean no reward, I'm not saying you can make money. You can make money. But go and ask those who once had lots of that money. There were guys who in the 90s were killing it. They had money. Now, the world's moved on from them. And that's what the world does. The world is a moving thing. They move on from you. When you have nothing to give them, they can be excited about you in a moment. But you know what? The next guy starts dancing awkwardly. They're out of your space. They're in his space. Yeah, but that's the thing. Is that sometimes
next guy
in
jumps
order
off
for
a wall or something.
Sometimes in the world, the only way to grab attention is to do something stupid.
Yeah, bo. In this day and age.
In this day and age, do something stupid and you will grab attention. And people are willing to do those things because they seek attention.
Yes.
I don't seek attention. I seek to attract people. attraction requires value. Attention doesn't.
Bring the mic close to you.
You know, that's that's the reality. Is that attract attention to you to gain attention? You just have to do something stupid.
Yeah.
Because attention is that people just move to seeing you.
Do not grab that young lady.
But guess what? But in terms of attraction, you cannot attract people except you've got something of value in you.
Yeah.
E.g., you put a little bit of honey on the ground here.
Mm-hmm.
You will think there are no ants in this yard. You will be amazed in a couple of hours. They will pull from every colony and come there.
True.
Why? They
Because they
seek no attention. It's not about attention. That thing is not seeking attention. It has enough value within it to attract. And that's what we must seek. But for you to value to attract takes time. That's the essence of patience.
Yes.
Value to attract takes time. And so the young lady who's 21, who is in a hurry to be whatever, needs to understand that you might gain attention, but attention doesn't last. Attention is always short. Tell me anybody whose attention span lasts how long? Who? In fact, they said that people's attention span is about an hour or so. After about an hour, it's the same thing. That's why all these videos that trend on social media can't trend forever. A couple of months ago, there was a, what do you call it? There was a teacher, a white teacher that was dancing that was recorded.
When the students were recording.
My question, who is still watching that video now?
Nobody.
People moved on already. Because dancing is wonderful.
Yes.
But that can draw attention, but it cannot attract because there isn't much of a value to it. It's an entertainment. It's the same. You see movies. Some movies come and they're very entertaining. People would watch them in the moment and then move on.
Yeah.
But there are some movies, some documentaries, some things put out there that just seem to be timeless.
Yeah, you
There
watch
are
it 100 times.
Yes,
Oof.
there are certain music that have become timeless music.
Yes.
And go and check timeless music is because there is something in it. And it's not always about the lyric.
Substance.
Sometimes it's even just the heart or the soul in which the song was written. Because that guy went deep to go get that song out. And that came from his struggles. That came from his triumphs. That came from his pain. That came from his tears. That came from somewhere. And it means something. You can't fake those things.
And sometimes they can't release another album after that because
It is because it's so deep that they might
he
never
poured
find that
everything
depth
into
ever again.
that. Yeah.
Is that if you're a musician, would you settle? Would you? Would you settle for one song, one album that touches the ends of the globe and never ever release another one and be at peace with yourself? And release singles all the time
Yeah.
that people can jive to, but once another single that's a little bit more single than your single comes out,
Yeah.
they single you out and they go on and move on to somebody else.
True.
And that's what happens in the world. And the songs that people are still listening to in countries are not popular ones. They are deep ones.
Yeah, true.
And if you want to be a deep person, depth takes time.
Yes.
I mean, there's just you're not going to grab it overnight. Depth takes time. And if you're not a patient person, in long term, you will not be a valuable person. And patience is key. It's not natural, but at some point in life, one has to acquire patience to be able to wait, go through process, so that one day you're a person of value.
Yes.
And I know young people will think, who cares about value if you've got the money? You don't need the value. No, you do. Because you'll know that later. That once you have money, there's a guy who's got more money than you.
Yeah.
And no matter how much fame you think you got, just blink for a while. And somebody else is more famous than you are. Because legends are made in time. Legends aren't made because of they got talent. They are made in time. They are talented. But time has added value to their talent. And that is the quality that patience brings into the life of a person.
True.
I know you're talented, but give yourself time to add value. Because that's what attracts people to you. And some people don't have the patience to say, my time will come in the next 10 years. But right now, I'm in the school of training. Like, who's got time to train? I want to trend.
Now.
Stuff training. Give me trending.
Yeah.
Young people want to trend. But guess what? Learn one thing. If you trend today and you refuse to train, you'll be relevant tomorrow. Period. And to those of us who are middle aged, to understand a lot of things about patience, the quality of it, is that learning to wait, learning the act of patience will save us a lot of heartache in life.
True.
To know the fruit I'm going to bear, the person I'm going to be, the quality and value I'm going to add to society is different from the quality you are going to add to society. And while your quality might shine through now, I need to hold my own and wait, polish it, work on it, labor with it, do all the things I have to do. Even if it takes another 5 years before anyone sees value in what I'm doing, but I'm not going to move. I made an example earlier. If you put honey here, it doesn't go calling insects, you know. If you put a jar of honey here, it doesn't crawl out of the bowl and say, insects, I'm here. Come to me. No, it doesn't. It believes enough in the qualities inherent in it to attract, because there is enough value here to bring others within that space.